Hey everybody, my name is Johny K Kalenga. I'm the founder of WeSkate Mongu. And so WeSkate Mongu is a youth-run non-profit. It just teaches kids how to skate every 2 hours, 7 days a week. So what we do is we draw kids from everywhere. We just choose a location to go to. Then like we draw kids from everywhere. They come in and we start teaching them how to skate and just giving them a few lessons on hygiene, road safety, and everything like that. So apart from we skate Mongo, I'm also a dancer. I'm part of a dance crew called the Misfit Society. And the plan of the Misfit Society is also more like we skate Mongo, because not everyone is interested in skating. If we can bring people through dance, then that's also right. Why we're called the Misfit Society is because we're looking at all the misfits out there, the people that are outcasts, like those people that are awkward in society and those are not accepted.
The
Yeah,
fact
so
that
like
the
we just
fact
want to
that
get that.
the fact that you're dealing with skating already, it feels very
Come
abstract.
again?
Like the fact that you're dealing with skating as a community, it's already abstract. I get that
Yeah,
this bit.
yeah. So that's mostly about me. Anyway, I'm 20 years. I'm 20 years old. I didn't say where I'm from. I'm from Mongu in Western Province, and yeah, that's
But first, let's just get into it. What led to starting WeSkate Mongu? What was the idea behind that?
so. When I started WeSkate Mongu, it didn't really start as a non-profit. It just started as me teaching myself how to skate, learning how to skate, going around town skating. That was about 5 years ago. It was about 5 years ago. So I just I just got a skateboard. So a little bit about me before I got a skateboard is that I've always loved skating ever since I was young, but I couldn't afford skateboarding. It was like this sport that was really expensive and I couldn't afford it, and I learned how to skate using other people's skateboards. There was like this one guy who had a skateboard in town, but he never used to skate. So like I'd always go by his place every single day to just learn how to skate. And
Mhm.
the funny thing is, after I learned how to properly skate, I got involved into an accident
Oh,
and I broke my leg. I broke my leg, and from there I was told, I know the irony, I was told I might never skate again. And
Mm.
just thinking about that, telling myself like, what? I'll never skate again. I told myself like, that's a lie. If I want to skate again, I believe I'll skate again. So like I spent like 3 months in the hospital. Like the car crash was really bad. I spent like 3 months in the hospital.
wow.
My leg was broken like on the upper thigh, so it couldn't be put in a cast. So it had to heal on its own.
Mm.
Mm.
I literally had a tiny metal bar pierced into my knee and tied to a heavy load of sand so that it can pull my leg back so that it can heal naturally. So
Mm.
fast forward, uh, my leg got healed. Then now I wanted to go back to skateboarding. So the funny thing about this is that I couldn't afford the skateboarding, and
Mhm.
obviously my parents wouldn't allow me to skate
Yeah.
because when it comes to skateboarding in Africa, that's a very peculiar sport. It's strange, and parents look at the skateboard and be like, "Okay, you're going to knock your teeth out. You're going to break your legs. No, 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 and no. You can't do this. Period." So like I was like, "Oh, how am I going to make this work? I can't afford a skateboard, and obviously I can't tell my parents to buy me a skateboard because already my leg was broken. If I
Mm.
tell them I want to buy a skateboard, then that's the end of me."
What more do you
So
want to do to yourself?
I know that was literally, it wasn't just my parents, that was literally everyone in the whole town who saw me skateboarding after I got a skateboard. So this is what happened. So I became healed, and I was riding my bike, and obviously my bike was entertaining me for some time, and then from there. So the hospital advised me to like start riding a bike around. So like I'm on my way home, I'm riding a bike, and I'm crossing the road, like I'm in the other lane. So I look behind, and there's this car that's overtaking a pothole. And it just happened in seconds. I look behind and this guy's already behind me. So I jump off my bike and this guy just comes crashing into my bike like so like my bike is destroyed. And that was like just right. That was just like right outside my gate. And just after a few minutes, after a few months, like it was just like 1 month of coming out of the hospital and my leg was healing.
Yeah.
And I get involved into this other accident. So it's like now in my parents' mind is I'm not supposed to ride a bike, and skateboarding as it is already worse.
If I were your parents, I'd just be like, anything physical, you're not fit.
No, exactly. So, I know. So that accident, I was like, okay, I think life is out to get me. I don't know, life is out to get me. So what I'm just going to live life as I want to. Just do something that makes me happy, as long as it doesn't like violate my parents' rights in that way, like big violations or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I want to skateboard. I need to start skating. So from there, obviously, they still considered me sick a bit. So like I had that pass, if you're sick, you know, like you can get away with a lot of things. So I started going back to school after the accident. I was moving on crutches, like I get to school, they'll give me a little bit of extra pocket money. So what I started doing is that every time they'd give me a little bit of cash, like for a whole semester, for a whole term, I forfeited my lunch money and raised enough money to buy a skateboard. Like,
wow,
they never knew about that.
So they didn't know they were secretly
so,
funding your
exactly.
your
I know. Yeah, they funded me. So I got a skateboard, and the funny thing is in ninth grade, it's like my dad was transferred. He was moved to the copper belt from Mongu. So I remained with my mom. And my mom is a little bit soft, My mom is a little bit soft. My dad was a tough one, If you say something, it goes. So when he went to the copper belt, I was like, okay, a little bit of freedom, but my mom still don't let me skate because my leg wasn't fully healed. I just came out from walking on crutches. So that was straight no. They did that. They never saw the skateboard. I just hid it. So like in ninth grade, my mom was moving to another house, like in another place of Mongu. So I was like, no, I can't move right now. The school is just near this house. So I'm in ninth grade. Maybe you can just let me stay here for a bit so that I can study and everything.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, she agreed. So for like 3 months, I just lived alone with my friends, like the three of us. Both of us were in ninth grade, and the other one was like audios in 12th grade. So like, so we're going to study. It's going to help you study. So anyway, we did study though.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't study. We did study, but there's a lot of skateboarding too. So
like extra benefits.
So from there, I started teaching myself how to skateboard. Yeah. So I started teaching myself how to skateboard. So I was getting good at it, and in like 10th grade, that's like back in 2016, I was like, okay, I was a little bit odd now,
Yeah.
I think I can make my own decisions, even though that doesn't exist in the African culture. So, yeah. So I stopped skating in secret, and I just decided, I'm just going to be skating. If they refuse me, then we'll have a problem on this. So I just started skating, like every time I'd skate around town. Like this is where the whole thing started. Now I moved to the area where my mom shifted to, and there were like so many kids there. The whole area was just filled with a lot of kids, and every time I'd skate there, kids would just be like.
What kind of neighborhood was that? Like where there was all those kids?
Like the neighborhood, it wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that bad, but seeing the way these kids were going about life, like the way they just grew up, and the people who were influencing them, the people around them, the other guys were around them, like those guys were bad influence on them, It was all about insults, it was all about drinking, smoking. So like that neighborhood, the neighborhood was like, I can't say dangerous because it wasn't like violent like that, but like the negative effect on them, that was like the bad part of it. I was just like skating, just going.
Oh, I was like, you even.
Go ahead.
I was like, you even noticed it, like it was so dominant that it had to put a picture in your mind as you were doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I definitely noticed it, because how I noticed this is that, like, for me, like to hang around with a certain type of people, they need to think in a certain way, Their mindset needs to be changed and adjusted to a mind that wants to do something, that a mind that wants change of some sort. So like for these guys, I'd always try to avoid them at all costs. And I could notice like, okay, these guys, if I hang around for too long, there would be a bad influence on me. Not to say that they could easily influence me, because I'm a hard person to influence. Like if I say I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. If I say I'm going to do it, I'll definitely do it. So like I'll try to avoid these guys. And so most of the time I'll just skate by them, I'll just pass by them. And the few times that I hang around them, I could tell like, okay, no. This isn't right. Something must be done. And that's why I decided like, okay, even though this isn't my kind of crowd, but I need to stick to them for quite some time,
Yeah.
I need to stick to them. Let me see if I can do something. So from there, it just started. Every time I'd skate, I wouldn't pass by. I'll just drop by where the guys are chilling, and we just sit there. We're talking, We're talking, even though they're like heavy, full of insults, and just like they didn't care who was around, elders, kids. These guys are just like, so like sometimes I'll just like get pissed at them, like just yelling at them, like, no. Come on, guys, there are kids here, can't be insulting like this. I mean, at first they're like, what can you tell us? Then after some time, they're like, okay, this guy is making sense, At first, it was more like just chill. It was chilling type of thing, We're just talking. Then I would skate from time to time. Then they'll be like, okay, that thing looks interesting. I want to try it. I definitely want to try it.
Before I'm sure
like, fine, let's.
So I'm sure you're getting to like the where you get very active with the skating in that community. But what do you think made them start changing? Like you say that they started changing bit and bit. Was it that you used to talk to them in a certain way? Because clearly they couldn't influence you.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't really take the credit and just put that mucho thing on me. Like, yeah, I definitely changed them, but I think it was the way I approached them and the way I took them, because they used hanging around people who are talking to them in another type of way and dealing with them in another type of way. Because these guys, most of them were younger than me, and the older ones were almost the same age as me. So like we couldn't tell who, we couldn't say like, okay, you're the boss, you're going to call the shots. Like, no. Everyone needs to make a right decision here, and everyone needs to know like everything they're doing here and saying it's going to affect them in one way or another. And you need to pay attention to how you're dealing with these young guys. If you older guys are always insulting all the time, then these younger guys they'll think it's all right. They'll think it's cool to just insult all the damn time. So I mean, I think it was the approach I took with them. And when I started using skateboarding as a means to like influence them, that became an easier part, because once someone is hooked to skateboarding, they want to do anything at all to be able to skate. So like when they're hooked to skateboarding, I'll just give some how can I say this? Like some points, like if you want to skate, you need to stop doing this. If you want to skate, let me not see you do this and this.
Yeah.
And like, okay, definitely, like they're getting just into it, and they're like, okay, I need to skate. If I want to skate,
of mentorship.
I need to insult less. Exactly. And I need to insult less. So like it started with 5 guys. These 5 guys got into the sport. The kids saw this. I was teaching 10 people how to skate using one skateboard. As we're getting, as the people were growing, as the class was becoming bigger and bigger, like one skateboard wasn't just working out and it was becoming stressful,
Yeah.
Like imagine you're dealing with these eager kids, that have never seen a skateboard before. They are just introduced to this amazing sport they see on TV and they think it's so amazing. And everyone wants to try it out and everyone doesn't want to wait for their turn. So like they're shoving each other around. And keep in mind, we're skating in the tarmac, in the road. There are cars moving, people are moving, and it's not really a safe place to say,
Yeah.
It doesn't become the most safest place to do this. So I was like, okay, something must be done about this. Something definitely needs to be done about this. So after some time, I by 10th or 10th grade, I was like, okay, I was a bit of a hustler. I could make a bit of money now by then,
So
I could move on.
Upper Ponce, you're just in grade 10. This, as far as the story is
one,
going, you're still in grade 10. Damn.
Yeah, as far as the story was gone, I was just in 10th grade. I think by 10th grade, what really happened to me and what really helped me change my mind and even encouraged my mentality more. So like in 10th grade, there was this group we joined at school. It was called TED Ed. So I think I've seen some TED Talks on the internet, those TED Talks. Yeah, so like there's a group that was introduced to my school, and this group would just like, teach people public speaking skills, trying to change them in some way, giving them new ways. Like it just motivated us to believe in our dreams, like to the extreme. It just changed our mindset. We had that African mindset. Like I was no exception. Like I believed in my dreams to some extent, but at some point I had that African mindset that dreams don't come true. Exactly. This phrase, this is Zambia.
Yeah.
We had that this is Zambia type of thing, But in 10th grade, it was like this. I also had a mentor, like the woman who was running this club. She like inspired us to the extreme, She was like just this. It was like magical, the way she changed our minds and the way she just made us believe that we can do things that are impossible. So it was amazing because, but by that time, I think one of the things that encouraged us. So like TED Ed had these summits, weekend specials in New York, and about 10 of the club members were selected to attend this weekend in New York. Even though it didn't work out, but to the fact that we're selected to go to New York,
just the invitation moved some of you.
Yeah, that invitation. Because what happened is that we're invited for the first time, but we're denied. The visas weren't given to us because the guy was supposed to give us visas. He said it's a little bit sketchy that people from Mongu, only people from Mongu are selected to attend this summit in New York, and people from like International School of Lusaka or these other big schools were not selected. So like keep in mind at this point, this club that was started in Mongu, it was the first one ever in the whole country. It was the first club in the whole country. So I'm not surprised that these other guys are not selected. They're not selected. But anyway, we denied visas, and so like the guys from New York got word of that, and we're invited for the second time. Still didn't work out. I don't know. God's plan, probably. We're invited for the second time. It didn't work out, but something amazing happened. So like when that summit started, it was actually broadcasted live on Facebook, and we could see like them putting up our pictures saying like, no, sorry, these guys from Zambia couldn't come. And you're like, oh my God, like you're seeing yourself there, you're young and 10th grade, you're amazed. Like there's your picture in New York. People are looking at you and they're like clapping. It was amazing. So like from there, I think my mind just changed, like to the full, like not really mature, but that's where it all started. Because I remember my mentor. Yeah, I was woke, That was the beginning of becoming woke. I remember at some point, like this club required us to choose a project, a passion project. Like each and every person needed to choose a passion project, something that someone can help you do and try to see if it's possible to achieve. So I was asked the question like, okay, what's your passion? I was like, I love skateboarding, I love dancing. And then like she was like, out of these two, what do you want to do with them? And I was like, I want to build a skate park in Mongu. I want to build the first skate park ever in the whole country. And to myself, I was like, I was just blurting out things, I was daydreaming. I was daydreaming, and she's like, "Oh, really? We can make that. We can make that thing work." I was like, "Can it though?" I was like, okay. I was convinced because she when she speaks, you get inspired. I was convinced, but I still had some doubts. Like, come on, this kid, 10th grade, grew up in Mongu. Can you really make a skate park in Mongu? Can you really even bring skateboarding live in Mongu? And I was like, okay. From there, I was like, I'll try and make this thing work. So I started teaching people. I started teaching people how to skate. By that time, the name WeSkate Mongu didn't come yet. So up to this point, it was still 2016. We're coming to the end of 2016, and kids were becoming more and more. We only had one skateboard. So like kids, by the beginning of 2017, more and more kids were coming to the lessons. And the most amazing thing happened is that one day I'm going home, I'm from skating. Then I meet this kid in the road. He has this skateboard. And this skateboard is just a piece of plank.
Yeah.
And it has suitcase wheels on it. It has this small suitcase wheels on it. And I was like, oh my God. This kid is like 5 years old. The kid is 5 years old or 6.
Yeah.
Like just a little kid. And he made his own skateboard, so creative, so passionate for the sport. And I was like, something needs to be done about this. Something needs to be done about this. By that time, I was like, what can I really do? I didn't know what to do. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go all out. I'm going to keep on giving lessons throughout the whole week, every single day, if that's what is required. I was like, okay. Started giving out lessons, So by this time it was like only one board. Then I raised some money. I got a second skateboard. That was really helpful. So 2017, more and more kids just started making their own skateboards out of planks and suitcase wheels. It became a trend. And I was like, okay, these kids need to be put out there. This needs to be shown. People need to see this. This is amazing. People definitely need to see what is going on here. So one day, like that was like in 2017 August, I'm laying in bed. I just woke up early in the morning and I'm going through my phone. I'm like, I come across this folder full of kids with their own homemade skateboards and pictures from our lessons and everything. By that time, I was just taking random pictures from lessons and everything just to keep them. So I was like, these pictures need to be posted. They need to be posted. So I go on Facebook. I start creating a Facebook page, and I'm thinking to myself, what can I call this page? What can I call it? And by the time I was skating alone, I always used to tell myself like, I skate Mongu, like I represent the whole province. I skate Mongu, and that was like me alone. And I was like, but I no longer skate alone. So we're always skating. So it was like, WeSkate Mongu. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
WeSkate Mongu. This represents community, togetherness, family, and let's make it work. So I create this page, just start posting these kids, posting pictures from our lessons. And then a week into creating this page, I get a message from this guy, He's traveling around Africa on a bike and on a skateboard. He's been traveling around from Morocco. He went to South Africa. He went to these different countries, and he has been traveling around Africa on a skateboard for 4 years. It took him 4 years from Morocco to Africa, from Morocco to Zambia. So like this guy hits me up like, I'll be coming into Zambia very soon. I'm in Malawi right now. So like from there, I'll be skating into Zambia, and I'll be filming a documentary, Zambian skate life. And I've already talked to some guys in Lusaka. There are skaters there. You probably know these guys. I'm like, yeah, I know these guys. And they're like, I just came across your page, and I see these kids. They have their own skateboarding, and I think this can be a great thing for this documentary.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself like, wow, wow, just a week ago, I just created this page, and now this guy has already
All of a sudden.
found like this timing is great. I was like, cool, like you can come over, and like, okay, cool, I'll tell you when I'm in Lusaka. And so like a week or two later, this guy is in Lusaka, is filming. They're like, after I finish filming in Lusaka, he sends me a message. He's like, yo, I'm done in Lusaka. I'll be coming in Mongu soon. So like, what's the way to get to Mongu? And this guy is planning to skate from Lusaka to Mongu. And I'm like, you can't skate. You can't skate all the way from Lusaka to Mongu. We have a national park in between us. Kafiwa National Park is in between us. You literally can't skate from there to here. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Just tell me the best route. I was like, okay, no, you just take this route and this route. And they're like, okay, fine. So he goes quiet for an entire week. We don't speak. So I'm just waiting for him to give me a call. I'm on a bus and everything. This one afternoon, I'm at school and we're in the computer lab. We're like in charge of this computer lab. So like I decide to log in onto Facebook, and I see a message from this guy. I see a message from this guy. It's like, I'm on my way to Mongu. I've been skating. I reached by the park and they refused me to skate. So I was like, wait, you're on your way. You didn't tell me you're coming. Did you want to skate through the park? And they're like, yeah, I wanted to skate through the park, but I met some park officials. They're telling me you can't skate through the park. Lions are going to eat you. And I told them, lions don't eat other lions. And I'm like, wow, this guy is crazy. This guy is crazy. So he came to Mongu. That was like our first visitor from our Facebook page. This guy came over and we skated together. We took some pictures. We took some videos and we posted them. Fast forward to 2018. We got our first donation of skateboards from the Swedish skate community. So like some friends from Sweden saw what we're doing. Like they checked out our Facebook page, and my mentor helped us to get in touch with these guys. They saw what we're doing and they decided to donate skateboards, shoes, and some tokens to us. So these skateboards came over, and like this is where everything just like started to become huge, you know.
Yeah.
More skateboards came in, more kids started showing up for lessons. Lessons were becoming bigger and bigger, and things are just moving all right. So like, as you know, it's skateboards we're dealing with. So some of the skateboards get damaged, and now we don't have anywhere to buy spare parts. And like there's some bearings, the things in the wheels that make the wheels run, and those things are quite expensive, you know, just small but quite expensive. So like one of my students just decides, you know what, we can't let this thing stop us from skating. He starts making his own. Like, what?
How?
Oh yeah, you're still here. He starts making his own. So he gets damaged parts of these things. So like they're like rings, and they have Malisawa inside, you know, they have these little bones. So like this guy don't even know, doesn't even know how you do. So just starts getting them, and you push them in there, and boom, we're back to business. We're skating again, you know?
Yeah.
So like at this time, we're like, okay, no, don't worry. God's got us. He can't just bring us this far to let us down. So at the end of 2018, you know, 2018 was pretty amazing. That's when we got our donations. And now I just finished writing my grade 12 exam, and I had this whole time to focus on the kids. Then I left Mongo for some time. I went to visit my dad, and this guy Kingsley Ngenda, he's from the UK, but his dad was actually born in Mongo, you know.
Yeah.
He was born in the UK. His dad was born in Mongo, and this guy hits me up on Facebook. Hey, my name is Kingsley Ngenda, and my dad was born in Mongo. So I'm confused, like, what is this guy talking about? Because this guy has a lousy name. I don't know where he's from. So I just assume, okay, it's from Mongo. So I get in touch with this guy, and he's telling me like, no, I'm from the UK. My dad was born in Mongo, and I've always thought of a way to help my native town. And I was doubting if there's any skateboarding in Mongo, and it turns out there is. I just searched on Google and I came across your page, and what you're doing is amazing. So starting today, I'm going to be going out into my community to try and receive skateboards from you guys and get donations. I was like, wow. So this guy got donations, and he came over. He came over to Zambia. He brought more skateboards. He brought more safety gear. He brought a few shoes, and from there we're back in business. We're skating again. That was like 2019. This is where like everything just went all crazy. Like this is where everything happened. Like the year was going to be this crazy. I wouldn't believe it. Like I would on some sort
Like
of
it
level.
wouldn't be
I would
clear.
believe it
Like you
'cause,
wouldn't know.
yeah, like I always had that feeling like, okay, things are going to get big. I just didn't know when,
Yeah.
So like 20, this guy flies all the way from the UK and he comes to Zambia, First we host the competition in Lusaka. Then we come to Mongu, he meets all these kids. We have more skateboards, we're skating. And we go back to Lusaka, and it's like, okay, no, your community is amazing. Like what you're doing is amazing. Let's find more ways to like make this work. So like this guy, he went to some summit in Swedish Copenhagen, and ironically he met the person who first gave us the donations there. So like from there, I know. So
Full
like they met. So
circle.
from there, like I know this thing. We just became like partners now. Like we're all working together now.
Yeah.
We're working together. We're on the same page. And so the guys who hosted the summit in Copenhagen in Sweden, they're hosting a summit again in South Africa. So like this summit was going to teach people like how to run this skate organization, and like you need to apply for these summits. And by the time I knew this thing, like application date was already over and everything. So like the most amazing thing happens, like these guys from South Africa, they invited me to attend this summit. I was like, whoa, it's my first
So
time
you,
in the
without
country.
you
Like,
applying for it.
you thought it was too late,
I know, like
and then they
I
invite
know.
you.
like I'm like I know it's crazy. So I'm invited to attend this summit in South Africa, and this is my first time leaving the country. I'm like, wow, I'm going to leave the country because of skateboarding. This is just amazing. So like I fast forward, like this around this time, before I went to South Africa, I came back to Mongo. My friend went back to the UK, and so I was thinking to myself like, okay, Facebook is working out. Let me figure out another way to make this thing big. So I create an Instagram account. So like Instagram, this is where like a lot of crazy things happen. I create an Instagram account and narrate our story in the most clever way. I'm hitting up people, like telling them our story, hitting up some of those who inspired me. So like Aaron Cairo, I don't know, yeah, like Moses saw the documentary Aaron Cairo posted. So like I create Instagram, I'm telling this story bit by bit, how it started, like how some of these guys helped me. So like this guy, he sees one of these pictures with Aaron Cairo, sees one of these pictures with the kids on it. He posts it, and our Instagram followers just like I'm logging into Instagram. This morning I had 50 followers. I log in, I refresh, I have like 200 followers, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? How did this happen? So I actually I ran out of data, so it could just show like some people followed me. So I'm scrolling through my timeline to the things that already loaded, and I come across Aaron Cairo reposted my picture, and I'm like, what the hell? Like this guy, like let me explain a little bit about Aaron Cairo. So like when I was learning how to skate back in 2014 and 2015 and 2016, there was no one around Mongo to teach me. So like I'd always watch this guy's video on YouTube. He's like the biggest YouTuber who's teaching people how to skate out there. So like I'd always watch this guy's video. So like this is how big this is. Like this guy taught me how to skate, and reposted one of my videos. I'm like, one of my pictures. I'm like, okay, I need to hit this guy up. So I text this guy, because as I was saying, like this guy, I watched him teach me these tricks on YouTube, and now this guy actually responded to a message I wrote him, and I wrote other different people some messages too. Like I wrote Vina from Next Up Foundation. So this is like another foundation that's like doing really good out there. They're also doing the same projects that are also huge. So before I wrote to Vina, actually that was like before I wrote to Vina, I first went on the South African trip, and around that time, before the South African trip, Aaron got back to me. I was like, okay, I love your story, guys. I'd like to do a 5-part series about this story and put it on my channel. And I'm like, at this moment, I'm blown away. Like this guy has like 4 million subscribers, 5 million subscribers, and he wants to put our story on his YouTube channel. Like, this is huge. So, like, I at that time, the 5 series story didn't happen due to some other things that carried on. I was going to South Africa. They also had some other stuff to do, but the part of that 5-part series, they're going to surprise us. They're going to surprise us with donations. They're going to surprise us with some donations.
Okay.
So like I never knew anything about this. So like they were quiet about that. So I went to South Africa. Let's get into the South African trip. Like I had great times there. So I reached in South Africa. Like these cities, like we're in Johannesburg. You know, I was in Johannesburg, Maboneng. Like that city was so lovely. It was lively. There were people everywhere. There were these nice buildings we don't have in Lusaka. By that time, the weather was already cold. I didn't really know how cold it was, because I woke up in the morning. I was planning like, okay, I'm going to go out. They came to get me so that we can go to Skatistan. Like Skatistan is one of the biggest skateboarding organizations that are doing these social skateboarding projects. They're like the award-winning organization. So they came to get me so that we can go see their headquarters. We go see their headquarters in Maboneng. And I walk outside, and the cold just hit me like, whoa, and it's so cold. And I'm like, this is in Zambia. I just ran back inside. I'm like, I go put on some sweaters. I think I put on like one inside and the jumper on top, and I'm like, okay, this is a lot more better. So like coming on this trip, by that time I had something that I had to check off my list of my list. So like I checked off traveling out of the country for the first time. That was checked out. I'd never been to a skate park before, and that same day I went to my first skate park ever, and it was like, wow, like things are really happening, eh? Like things are moving. And by that time, it was just like 2019 has already been amazing. We got more donations, we got more recognition. We're already in October, and I've already traveled out of the country, and we're doing more things. I've come to my first skate park ever, and I thought like that was the most amazing thing of it all. So like from there, they put me in a room with these really awesome guys. So like I had 2 roommates. One was Jesse Mendes from Angola. He's also doing a skateboarding project. Like he's one of the guys who he's the president of Angola Skateboarding Union. He got a skate park built in Angola, the first concrete skate park. He did that. Then the other guy is Tanaka. He's from Zimbabwe, also doing the same project. They are really amazing guy. So like these guys, like we're all strangers, but we're living in this one awesome apartment. We don't really know each other, but the moment we met, we just clicked it. You know, it's like we've been friends for a while now. You know, we introduced each other. I'm talking to these guys, and these guys are really amazing. There's not that thing like I'm from another country, they're from another country.
Not distinctive differences.
We're just speaking one language. were in one mind. I think this is one of the characters skateboarding possesses. With skateboarding, you don't really know who you're going to meet, because you're going to meet all these different people. You don't even know them, but the fact that you speak one language, which is skateboarding, you'll be surprised how much you're going to connect with these guys.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things in common. It doesn't matter if you've never met the person. Once you just start talking, boom, you have an instant connection. So we meet this guy, Jesse from Angola. He had a friend in South Africa because he grew up in South Africa too. This guy comes to get us, and we're exploring the streets of Maboneng. It's like amazing. There's graffiti
So
everywhere.
this guy was he was more frequent at these summits. Like it's like he already knows everything that's happening. He's even taking you on tours.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Peter,
yeah. So what I was asking was the summits that you're having. I love this. The summits that you're having, like how are they picking people? Like for you specifically, I'm sure there was a lot of these special situations that were leading you to actually go there. But in terms of the others, like how, like for example, the same Jesse, how did he come into being involved in such summits?
Yeah. So there were some applications that I think that how many countries were there? There are about people from not less than 15 different countries. So they applied, and they were chosen. If you could bring a person along, that's cool too. So like most of these people just applied and they were there. So like the application process, it had to be one of those things like you need to be in some way connected to a social skateboarding project, because the summit itself, it's about learning how to run these projects. So that's before actually the project that then started. There were already some posts on social media. Other people already updated the people who are going to attend the summit. So you could check like a list, like see beforehand. You could see some of these people who are attending the summit, know a little bit about them. But I only knew that later on after I met these people.
Yeah.
I did know some people. Some people had already checked out my work and everything like that. I only knew about that later on. So like we're going around the streets of Maboneng, and we ran into these two skaters, These two skaters, Evan and Wes. These guys are from one is from New York, and the other one is from New Jersey. We didn't know they were also part of the summit because we didn't check the list. So we ran into these skaters. We greet each other, and then we bypass each other. That doing some tours around Maboneng, and then like in the evening, these guys come back, and we're not talking. Like every time you see another skater, like you need to talk to them. It's just one of those universal rules that are unspoken, but you need to do. So like we're talking to these guys, and we get to find out that they're also here for the same summit, and now we're buddies. So like we're talking to these guys, and we're introducing each other, and we're introducing each other's project, and they're like, oh, you're the guy with the kids for the wooden boards. They're like, oh yeah, we checked out your Instagram, you're doing good, man. And these guys, like, we just click it, and we're talking. We're now skating hard. I think that day we skated from like 11 to midnight. We're just in the streets. It wasn't dark because there were lights everywhere. It was just for like the afternoon. Zambia.
So it looks like you had a great time. So particularly, I wanted us to focus on the takeout from the trip, what you got from, how much you learned in running an organization, and at this point, because the success has been happened, if I'm not mistaken, between within the period of just 2 years, right? Like seeing what it might bring and what it might do for your community at that point. So I want us to look at how the summit went, what you got out from that, and what you brought
Yeah,
out to
that's
the kids. How many
I was just
beneficiaries are there? Yeah.
yeah, I was getting to that. So why I didn't skip these guys, because they became a huge part of my story too. So like the next day it was the summit, and everyone needed to present their project. So yeah, we got to the summit, and we're meeting all these other different projects, different people from different countries, and instantly we click, and the first meeting, the first lessons carry on, and they're teaching us about how to run these summits, and they're giving us new ideas on how to carry skateboarding lessons, how
Yeah.
to evaluate your students, how to register them. It was like 5 days, and each day had like different lessons. We're talking about evaluating data, teaching people how to skateboarding. We're talking about children protection policies. We're talking about getting registered as in,
An
organizations. We're talking about
organization.
like how to make this whole thing work in general. We present our ideas, and from there they give us some feedbacks, like you're representing these ideas to all these other different organizations, and that giving you feedback on how you can do it much easily, and you're networking. You're
Yeah.
making friends with all these other different organizations, and in one way or another, they're going to be your partners. So I learned a lot from the summit in terms of how to mainly run this whole organization. So like
Yeah.
that became a huge advantage to when I came back to Zambia. So in South Africa we had some fun, visited other parts of South Africa. The lessons were great, created friendship, created partnerships. I came back to Zambia, and immediately I landed, just started updating people on how things went, continued
Mhm.
updating my Facebook profile, getting in touch with more organizations, and that's when I got in touch with Next Up Foundation. This is a foundation based in the US.
Yeah.
Vinicius is the one who is running it. Told him about our story, and this guy donated about 10 skateboards to us, 23 pairs of brand new shoes,
Mhm.
helmets. It was like amazing. And around that time, that's when Aaron Cairo also told me like, hey, listen, we're supposed to come to Zambia and shoot you guys. And part of that five series story was supposed to be a surprise. We sent you over some t-shirts, and skateboards, and I don't know if they have arrived. So you guys need to go check these things out. And I'm like, whoa, I never knew about this. So we start inquiring about these things, and we find out like that package was like big. So like
Yeah.
when it arrived in Zambia, since our organization wasn't registered and it was sent to an individual's name, you obviously know you're going to be charged duty and
Mm.
these other
Yeah.
customs and taxes, because their package was huge. It was like, and all the goods they sent were like brand new, straight from their warehouses. This was a package of about 37,000 kwacha.
Mm.
So
Mm.
like we probably charged customs of about 24,000 kwacha. So I reach in Lusaka and I'm checking these goods, and I'm told we need to pay 24,000 kwacha, and I'm like, what? 24,000 kwacha? Where am I going to get that money? How am I going to afford this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get 24,000 kwacha. So like I'm racking my brain. Like I never, I didn't know where I was going to get the money, but I knew like things were just going to work out. We're going to receive the donations. So I'm racking my brain back and forth. So I told the guys like, okay, guys, listen, this is what happened, and they're like, okay, we need to figure out a way to raise money. So the guys come up with an idea of, okay, they're going to make a skateboard specifically directed to WeSkate Mongu, and they make this amazing skateboard with an African print on it, and they're going to sell these skateboards, and those funds are going to go towards like
Releasing the
paying for those goods. And
duty and
like
everything.
so far everything is going out good. So I'm like, okay, this man is too much. And there's already a skateboarding association of Zambia. If you didn't know, there's the skateboarding association of Zambia. The
okay.
president is Elijah Zambo. Elijah Zambo, I don't know if you know him, but he's the guy who started street culture, and he's
Mm.
the president. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I got in touch. I got in touch with the guy and I told him like, okay, listen, this is what happened, and this guy helped us like massively. So the association went back and forth, talked to the guys at custom. They told them like, okay, these are just donations. Like they can't really pay for this and da 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 da. So like the association helped us get these donations, and the donations came to Mongo, and the kids were happy. Like there were a lot of shoes to be given out. Like new skateboards were there, like kids were just going crazy. Like I've never seen such a spectacle before. So then I'm thinking like, okay, how am I going to give out these shoes? So like around this time, this is like December.
Yeah.
This is around December, and my birthday, by that time my birthday was approaching, and I was thinking like, okay, for my birthday, I need to do something nice for these kids. So I came up with an idea like, okay, I'm going to host the first skateboarding contest in Mongo ever. And this contest, I'm just going to give different prizes to these kids. So we started a fundraiser, raised about 10,000 kwacha for the first skateboarding contest in Mongo. It was more of a charitable event, but it was also a contest to just entertain the kids. So around that time, like the shoes were like, okay, we're going to give the shoes out at the contest, and we need to buy more gifts for this contest. And from there, my friend Kobe is from Belgium. He hit me up like, hey, I've been following your Instagram for quite some time, and I have a friend in Kawe. I've been coming to Zambia for quite some time. He also does something like this, but he does it with football. And I'd like to come to Mongo and film you guys. I'll be landing in Zambia, blah 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 blah, and I'm going to come with my friend from Kawe, and we're going to come and document this event for you guys. Like, oh yeah, cool, come over. We love receiving visitors and everything. So Kobe came over, and for this, so we're preparing for this event. And what we did, I went to my former school and I talked to the headmaster. Hey, listen, so I want to host an event, and we need to use your basketball court. But
Which school
by
is
that
that?
time, the basketball court isn't in really good shape.
Yeah.
Sorry, St. John's. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to my former school, St. John's Secondary School. It's like one of the biggest schools in Mongo, and the headmaster is Mr. Kayombo. I went to his
Which
office
town?
like
Which township is that as well?
in
Like,
Mongo.
not like the area.
This is around. It's somewhere. I think this is like they call it North Park. It's around. Since the school is there, they just call it St. John's area. So
Oh
they just
yeah.
adopted the name of the school. Yeah. So I got to the headmaster's office, and I'm like, okay, listen, I've been running some of these lessons. You have seen them when you've passed by in the road. I've been running these lessons, and I want to host a competition at the school court. I have some shoes to give away, and I have other gifts to give away. And the headmaster's like, is impressed with this. Like, yeah, sure. Like you can use our facility. This is great of you. I'm loving that you're taking this initiative to give back to the community and everything. So the basketball court wasn't that good. So like we bought some cement, and the kids and I, we went by there. We smoothened out the court. We made it smooth, and we filled up the cracks that were there so that we can skate in there. And now we're preparing for the competition. Though for the competition, mainly I just didn't want it to make it like more just a competition, but I wanted to make it like something the kids are going to remember and appreciate, that when they went to the competition, they're not just competing to just win, but they're competing to gain something.
Yeah.
So for the prizes, I just made it specifically. I chose some specific things to give them as prizes. So what I bought as prizes, I bought school books, I bought some pens, I bought Colgate, toothpaste, toothbrushes. I bought soap. I bought tray of eggs. I bought school bags. I had shoes to give away, packs of sugar, cooking oil, and many things. So we spent all the 10,000 on this competition, and it came out a success. We gave out all these things. Parents were happy, kids were happy, and I'm planning to host one of these things later on in the future if the COVID situation goes down a bit. So
Mhm.
some of the things that helped me carry out these things more smoothly is that when I came back from South Africa, like they taught us a lot of things. They taught us about partnership. They taught us about fundraising for money. They taught us just like how to make this thing work. So even my lessons now were not just random lessons where I just go, kids come and they start skating. But no, I now had the planned curriculum for these kids. I had planned things for these kids to do. Skatistan has these like skate games, and you could use these games. These games teach kids different things like teamwork,
Yeah.
building their courage. They're like educative games. So like this thing just became one of those things where like it was bringing like more change, and
Are
more kids were
you
there. More
are
kids
you
were learning.
now a registered entity now?
Now we're working on our registration. We're hoping by December our registration process will be done.
Mm.
Like
So
like
like
So how come?
I think
I'm so sorry. Like in your group, when it comes
yeah.
to you, with all these activities that you're having, you have some kind of board or trusted few you work with. Like, would you name them? Like, how many are you?
So like as at now, I've been running this show. It has been a one-man show.
Wow.
But what I did to relieve what I did to relieve stress from myself,
Yeah.
I picked like some of those students that I started with, and like they're passionate and they know how this thing works. I picked about 6 of them, trained them, and now they're the ones. Every time I'm away, they're coaching these kids
Yeah.
how to skate.
Mm.
These kids are like the oldest one is like about 16, and I've taken this responsibility. Like it's one of our main goals to like, since it's all about youth empowerment, it's one of our things we do. So like we're here to start doing every time, every year. The first 6 months of the year, we choose 6 people, train them how to like be leaders, and if they are good, they stay on the team. And if they're okay, not that good, we'll let them go, but they can continue helping these other kids and teaching them more. And we choose another set of people and we train them. So for that, we're constantly building leaders. We're
Yeah.
encouraging these kids, and that's mostly about youth empowerment, like giving these guys this responsibility. I've seen these kids. These kids who are now teaching people how to skate. I've seen them become like being just kids who are learning how to.
I asked that. I
Yeah,
asked
I'll
that
say.
because of the like part of what you were learning at the summit. I'm sure you were given like the essence of having a registered entity. Like for example, that same incident of
Yeah.
Aaron sending you those items and you couldn't collect them because there was a charge and stuff like that. I think a lot of
Mhm.
that can be thwarted
Yeah.
without having to go through great challenges.
Yeah.
Just a short to just keep us on track. Like you mentioned, the plan now after the summit, the plan is creating groups of young leaders, creating some sort of youth empowerment to empower others. And how's the
Yeah.
how have you done that, and how many beneficiaries have been recruited since you got those donations, since after you came back from South Africa?
I mean, yeah, like that thing has been working out well, because after all the donations came in and before, by the starting of this thing, by 2018, when we received our first donations, we just had one girl who was skateboarding. Now Mongo has the most number of girls skateboarding. We have about more than 20 girls who can skate
Yeah.
out here. It's so funny. It's like it's one of those things whereby you walk into the street and any kid you give a skateboard to, they can actually skate.
Wow.
So like now we had more. We had to. think of a way to like let girls take charge too. We had to let the girls also be involved in these things. So like we're giving girls some power too. So like part of those things we learned in South Africa, like how to organize these lessons, it came to the point whereby we divided these lessons into groups, categories. There's the younger kids skate on a Monday, the little bit older kids skate on a Tuesday. There's a girls only skateboarding sessions to help them feel comfortable, and they skate on a Wednesday. The older kids skate on this and this and this. So we divided it into that way so that we can track these people. By this time, keep in mind we have more than 200 students.
Wow.
Wow.
By then we started by this, because at the competition, I did not just give out gifts, but I made sure each and every student of mine had a meal. So I fed more than 200 students. I provided meals for these guys. Yeah.
And in terms of
So
like,
by
for
this
example,
time,
I'm
after
sorry, I'm so sorry. Because the number keeps increasing
Go
like
ahead.
that,
Go ahead.
do you think it is the community's fully welcomed skating as a practice for most, especially the girl children? Do you think they're comfortable with that happening in the oh dear 10 moments? Yeah. Sorry, it just came in my face. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the community
So
comfortable?
you know, it has been tricky, but one of the things I learned in South Africa, because in South Africa we had like just an organization that's just dealing with women, like that's women skate the world.
Yeah.
It was an organization, so like we're getting more ideas on how to deal with these children. So like in Africa, when it comes to the girl child, it's really matters of that is really difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Just imagine you try to convince a parent that their girl child is supposed to start cooking. Start cooking, but they need to go for skateboarding lessons. So like you need to create some sort of connection with these parents. They need to know you personally. So like some of these parents have like local businesses, and I'll visit those businesses. Buy something from them, sit down and talk a little bit. You're chatting, trying to get creative and in a clever way, trying to bring in these things and
Yeah.
try to convince them the benefits of these things. So like that's why like the community became a little bit more comfortable with skateboarding, seeing like all these kids are getting something from it, they're staying away from trouble and everything.
Yeah.
So like that really helped. So like in terms of networking, like we created a big network when it came to Instagram, and we're hitting up all these other organizations that build skate parks around the world. So like I can proudly say today, I'm working with this organization. There's Wonders Around the World. It's building it builds skate park, and just built a skate park in Mozambique. Also Skate World Better, they did the project together, and next year they'll be coming to Mongu to build a skate park.
Wow. That's
Awesome.
So like we'll be moving back and forth, and these guys have been really supportive, and we've done multiple partnerships with these guys. And actually, just last week, we won a grant of $25,000 for this skate park.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so like
Awesome.
that's
Like,
dope.
yeah, so like this. Yeah, I
this
know
something
the skate park next year. The skate park next year is a must. So like recently, one. Yeah, so I just wrapped it up. So those guys are our partners, Wonders Around the World, and Skate World Better. They'll be coming here to build this skate park. Probably be the first skate park in the whole country. The dream back in 2016 is coming
Yeah.
to life.
awesome, man.
delayed,
Awesome.
but eventually would
Just,
come.
Yeah, so like
yeah.
yeah. So like at this point, let me just go ahead.
Yeah. So
Anyway, as I was saying,
yeah. Go ahead, man. Just sorry.
sorry, yeah. So let me just wrap it up before the time is done. So like, right now we are all caught up to where we currently are. We hosted
Yeah.
these competitions, and just this past month, we're like I had some friends from the US. They hit me up like, "Yo, we see what you're doing, and we see these kids are skating with you, but most of these kids they don't have shoes. So we're going to start a fundraiser to buy these kids shoes." And I was like, cool, if we can buy 200 pairs of shoes, that's awesome. So we started a fundraiser with these guys, and within 10 days, we raised more than 2,500 US dollars. That's about more than 40,000 kwacha. So like
Wow.
within 3 weeks, we raised about 2,800 US dollars for these shoes. So things just moved quickly. This is like our current project right now. Things just moved quickly, and we raised this money. We have bought these shoes. These shoes will be here probably by next week. Bought more than 180 pairs of shoes. My friend, do you remember the guy we met in South Africa, Evan from
Yeah.
New Jersey? He also had
Yeah.
some donations for us and talked to these guys. So these guys who raised the money for the shoes, they're called WeSkate. WeSkate, they're a team from Florida, and they stored on the team. There's also Justin. Justin actually works for DHL. So like they just made it they just made it and they just made it easy for us to get the
Yeah.
things here because they work for DHL, and the things can easily get to us, and we don't have to worry about paying shipment fees and
Yeah.
everything. So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh cool, since you guys work for DHL, let me talk to my guy back in New Jersey. He said he has some donations for us, but has been failing to get them here. So like these guys got in touch and they talked like, yeah, cool, we can send the donations together. So like this guy, so like probably next week there's a lot of stuff I'm expecting. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to be making a video about it. And I just recently started a YouTube channel, WeSkate Mongu, and I'll be posting our updates there. I'll be telling our story from there. Yeah, so like you guys are currently caught up on everything. So let's throw in the questions.
I think
Ah,
to
right.
start with, we'll be watching like your movements now, especially your
Yeah,
YouTube,
man.
because there's going to be a lot I'm sure you're going to be doing from now on. I think Moses had a lot of critical questions waiting. You have 200 or so beneficiaries or trainees that you're training skating, and the girls are in the 20s. He was asking if that is accurate information. I think he's progressing to something else.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to the girls part, it hasn't been an easy road, and trying to convince a lot of them to get on board has somewhat been a difficult thing. So as at right now, we're trying to figure out more creative ways which we can convince more girls to come on board. So one of the things we have done is we're letting them have more role models. We're choosing some capable girls, and they're on the board, they're coaching guys, they're coaching girls, and when other girls see that, they're just excited to jump on, and also they get inspired by the others.
But currently, how many girls are there roughly?
Roughly about 20.
Okay. And then where were you leading with this question?
About
Oh, yeah.
20, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So leading to that, speaking about the incentives, really, what sort of incentives have you put in place? Is it just skating, or maybe the organization is looking into maybe going further, going a step further to maybe help them with their school and other incentives that you can throw in? Is it just skating, or there are more stuff that you guys are planning to do for them?
Yeah. So it's not just skating. So my vision is bigger than that, because my main vision is that after we get our center built, we're going to get a park, and then at the park we're going to put some sort of structure there that's going to act as classrooms. That's going to give some sort of education to the kids. I'm talking about maybe the kids come in and we help them with their homework, give them a little bit of math lessons, reading lessons, English lessons, computer lessons. Hopefully, this will all depend on how much monetary support we're going to have. If we're going to have people donating computers, one or two, then we're definitely going to have computer lessons. But even without the computers, we're going to find a way to make it work, because we're going to make sure we'll be helping kids with their school, because we're going to have a program called WeSkate. So this is education mixed with skating.
Okay.
So skating draws them in, and we're going to educate them. We're talking about art classes here. Yeah. So the skating part of it, skateboarding is beneficial to the human mind. People don't really realize it, but it helps people in many ways. It helps them develop in many ways. And if we can mix it with other things too, that's even better. Skateboarding can be mixed with education. That's even better. Unless you're getting your mind relaxed with skateboarding, you're learning something. When you're learning how to read, or you're getting someone help you with your homework, you're getting someone help you with your math problems and everything like that. We're talking about probably creative and art stuff here, teaching kids how to paint, write, and many more things.
Interesting. That's really, and in terms of because in the documentary you mentioned something to deal with kids getting into gangs and everything. How are you going to use, or rather, how are you using skateboarding to rather reform such kids in the community?
Your question is, how are we using skateboarding to change the mindsets of these kids so that they can stay away from trouble?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So with the way our curriculum is designed, and when we keep adding to it. So first, some of the things. One of the things I forgot to mention actually. So this year, the guys from South Africa, Good Push, the guys who invited me to their summit. So every year they choose 3 partners to partner with them, and then these partners are going to come close to them and they're going to teach them, like, personally how to run this organization. And out of about 24 countries applied, and I was one of the 3 people who were chosen. So like they've been teaching me like closely how to actually effectively run my organization. And one of the things I've done is to teach me how to like help these kids in that way. We're talking about leadership skills. If we talk about leadership skills, we're talking about encouraging their creativity, because there's different type of creativities in different types of areas. Like in my hometown, Mongu, what's mostly known is, like, maybe it's all over Zambia, I don't know, like making those wire cars, and making these cars to just play with. If we find a way to encourage that and try to take this thing the next level, that's even better. And it's just like, for someone to reform, for a child to reform, it depends on your approach. Yeah, on the path to helping these kids change their mentality. It just has to do with the way we're going to approach them in helping them. Like, it's not easy to like change how someone grew up behaving, but this depends on how you are behaving towards them. It's a long process, but you start slowly. It depends on one of the things we're adopting now is a child protection policy. So this child protection policy is one of the things that protects the kids. You are not allowed to bully the kids. You're not allowed to talk to them in a bad way. You're not allowed to have any contact with the kids in in any way. You need to respect the kids mentally and physically. This child protection policy protects the kids in that way. So like when we're talking about talking to them in the most kindest of tones, encouraging them throughout, just helping them figure out who they are and what they really what they really want to do, and helping them realize that if they take the path they were on, if I thought it was bad, if they take that path, then it's going to be bad for them, and trying to show them how really bad it can be for them. So like as incentives, as you were asking, we it's very good to try and not encourage the kids that if they change, we're going to give them something. Then we're helping their mentality becoming another way. We just want to change so that they get
Yeah.
something. So like it's good. Like if a kid takes an initiative on their own and they want to change on their own, then we
It will
can give
play
them
a
an
great
incentive.
it will
Maybe
play a
since like
greater
usually
impact.
for the skateboards, yeah. So for the skateboards, usually the kids use them, then we take them back and we go store them so that all the kids try to remain equal, and all the skateboards that for the community that are equally shared. So when it comes to incentives, if some kid does something extraordinary, or he makes a step further, then we say, okay, you have made some great improvement. We're going to lend you this skateboard for 2 days. We're going to lend you the skateboard for 1 week, and this is supposed to help you improve. And what we do with that, we're trying to like check their mindset with how we have worked with them. If their mindset is really good, then they're going to use that skateboard to teach other kids too. They're
Yeah.
going to help other kids how to skate. And every time a kid comes with that initiative, like, okay, I've been given this skateboard, let me help others. We let them keep it for a longer period, then we take it back and we observe. You need to constantly observe your students and check on them, what progress has been made, who is the bully, who is being bullied, and resolve these issues.
Yeah. Dope.
And it's a great initiative because you've mentioned a lot of things in the fight against just youths going astray in ways that you've talked about,
Yeah.
helping the less privileged through your partners that have donated shoes, that have donated skateboarding equipment and safety gear and everything. And now you have plans to build a skate park next year, which will allow at the same area, which will allow some classes being built, and that's really commendable, and that's just something that a lot of people should look into, especially in that we have a lot of organizations. We focus on uh, social welfare in terms of the number of street children on the street, the number of poverty levels, the number of
Yeah.
people, the less privileged that organizations help. But there is another approach that you guys are taking, which is using skateboarding as a tool to lure these kids in, to nurture them and to teach them leadership skills, organizational skills, and all these wonderful things. And you creating that child policy, I don't know if Mongo has an office for social welfare. I don't know if they have
Yeah.
that. There is a child protection policy they have. The child guidelines. If you're working with kids, you have to go through the body that is social welfare to look at to prepare a proper child policy plan, because the policy that is in this country might be different from other countries. So I advise you check it out if at all you haven't checked
Yeah.
the office yet.
All right.
Yeah, in terms of registration, and it is going to be easier for you to register there. And yeah, man.
I think we're remaining with the 10 minutes. I was curious with like one thing, like it started with you
Yeah.
basically, like the way the story started, it started with you. What do you think has driven you this far? What
Yeah.
drove you to be the person that you are? What do you think is behind that? Generally, what would you say?
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
I think for me it has been one of those things whereby when when I was growing up, I couldn't afford skateboarding, and it has really been hard. It has been hard for me, and I noticed like it's an expensive sport. It's not really accessible. So for me, I've been driven to like provide what I didn't have and try to make it easier for these kids. Like if we can provide skateboarding accessible and free for all these
No, but
people, it will be much easier rather than me
my
was
question
trying to
was,
like
like,
struggle.
I can, the thing is, what you've told me is the results. Like, something drove you to see the situation where you had no access to the right tool sets and so on. So you fought on, made sure
Yeah.
to spread it to others, like the way you're teaching the kids. But what is that thing that drives you? What would you say gives you the strength to keep on pushing? Like if right now, for example, the park thing, if it got delayed again, what would keep you persistent this way, like looking forward to the future?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think what I can say is that like I've tried. I'm motivated to just achieve a dream. Not many people get that opportunity to like just keep on pushing on
Mm,
their dream, and they see things work. They see things working. Not many people get that motivation. That motivation because it's one of those things whereby there's so much discouragement when you're doing things. Because I think a lot of people tried to discourage me on this project. Skateboarding wasn't popular in Zambia, and it was very difficult. So just being one of those things whereby you're trying to prove
yeah.
everyone wrong, and they're just trying to hold on to this to just show them like I can make it work and I will make it work. That has been one of my biggest motivations to just achieve this dream and show people that not only will I make it work, but it will also help others.
Yeah. I like what you've just said in the end, because that's what I was picking up. Very few people just go like, I've broken my leg, I'll go back to skating. I got into an accident, I'll go back to skating. These people have promised, but something has held me back, I'll keep on trying. It's a very difficult thing, especially, the one
Yeah,
key part that's told me, like the type of person that you are is you are not influenced. So like the group that you met in that community, if they were into that nonsense and what, in the end they were the ones that were influenced to change to some degree. It shows that you are not a trend follower, you are a trend setter. And usually such people are very crucial for
thank you.
change. A
I
lot
mean,
has happened. So I was curious to the fact that if you had
yeah.
acknowledged it, to know exactly what it is. And from what you've said, it seems like it's that thing. Like, to be honest, I'm one of those. Like, oh, this can be done. I'll do it. This can be done. It's like you're fighting against a
It says
barrier.
who?
Yeah.
Who says this can be done?
Yeah. But I was curious also on, like, I've seen that that's the drive. But then, are you religious in any way? Like, do you have anything like faith, like what you believe in and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
definitely. I mean, I'm Christian full time. All the time. I've just left. Like to this point, I'm one of those people who do like no matter what challenge I face, no matter how big it is, no matter how huge it is, I tell myself, God's got my back. So I just
Yeah.
leave everything in God's hand. Like all my friends know I'm that type of person. Like I just tell them, don't worry. Like, what? We need to pay 24,000 for these things. God's got it to work out.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do this. Don't worry. God's got my back, and that's one of the things. Like, I've noticed some people tell me I'm lucky, but I keep on telling them I'm not lucky. I'm blessed.
Amen.
God couldn't have brought me this far to just watch me like not achieve what He has planned for me. Because every single step I've taken forward, it has become bigger and bigger. And every time I think to myself like, okay, finally God has brought me to the place where I'm supposed to be. He lifts me 2 times higher than what I was thinking, and I'm just like, oh, so
I
this
mean,
is not it.
just
And I just keep telling
Aaron, just the Aaron part was like from 0 to 100 in a short period.
I know. So I keep on telling myself like, okay, I think God's got bigger plans for me, and this is definitely not the end of this. And I'll keep on like just believing in Him and believing in all the plans He has for me, because I'm sure He's got my back full time. And that's just my mentality. I think I'm an optimistic person, and one of the things that influenced my mentality in this way is like the friends I found myself around. Like I was always around these people who were motivated to like achieve huge things.
Yeah.
I wasn't that kind of person at first. Like I was okay. I have a dream. I'm going to be the skate park, and that was it. I wasn't thinking about helping these kids, whatever. But most of these things that I'm thinking about now were like the dreams. Bullying is a huge problem in this country. We need to combat this bullying. This is the huge country, and unconsciously I found myself adopting that kind of thing. And this is why they say like you are the person you are the person you hang around. What's that phrase again? You're the people you hang around.
Yeah.
That's the phrase.
Yeah.
You're the people you hang around.
You are the sum of the people
If
I think.
you hang around. I mean, even though that's kind of true, I'm one of a person who's like open to everyone despite anything. Like I don't really like choosing the type of people, because I feel like I can help anyone. If I just choose like, okay, I'm going to be friends with just the good people, then who are you leaving the bad people for? They need help too. So like I'm just open to like being friends with anyone despite their behavior.
Yeah.
All right,
Johnny.
Melo, you said you had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you know CJ?
CJ. The slab.
Yeah, CJ the slab.
The slab. I know CJ. Yeah.
That's my brother, man. He's my blood brother, man. He's my
really?
young brother. Yeah. He says what's up.
For real?
Yeah, I told him we're gonna be having you on today. And
hey
he was
CJ.
excited. Yeah. So shout out to CJ.
Yeah, say hi to him. Very cool dude.
I will, man.
Huge.
Yeah. He says what you're doing is amazing, man. So he sends his regards. Yeah.
Thanks.
So like I said, we're going to be observing you from now on.
I hope one day we could get to travel to Mongo to like survey and hang out.
Yeah.
Timan, I think connecting to this, what's happening here, eventually maybe we can take them, because skating sounds very interesting. It would be good for them to see other things.
Dude, it's an amazing culture, an amazing subculture. Yeah. So, we definitely have to make a few arrangements and make something work out.
Yeah, we should keep in touch. And what I think is that Johnny, you're like really young and you're already doing these amazing things that a lot of people would dream to do at 30 or even at 40 years old. And this is like you doing it before you even before your life even starts, man. Like your career and everything, you're already being selfless, because judging from your experiences and what happened that led to you becoming a skater in Mongo and you meeting all these amazing people, it's really really, it only goes back to us being under a God that is ever giving back, you know.
I mean, every step he's taking, like as he's telling the story,
Definitely.
he just goes like, "Oh, this wasn't going to happen. This happened instead. Oh, the invitation to this summit, we missed it. Then someone else invites. You know, it's just God. Every step of the way, I just kept on saying, bah! God is just stepping right in front, making sure the way is like, that's amazing stuff.
It's all part of his divine plan, man.
Yeah.
Crazy like that. I think there's that thing, the law of universal attraction. The law of universal attraction. So like what you think and what you feel, that's like what you attract, you know? Like try to avoid chasing things. Try to attract them. Like if you think something good is going to happen, then definitely something good is going to happen. Most of the time is like we just block our own paths, you know? Like if you feel like, okay, this I can do, and then you start telling yourself, no, I can't do, then you're not going to do it. So like I think with our Zambian youths, like there's so much potential, you know, there's so much potential, like they're full of potential, but like just different obstacles are blocking their way and their way of thinking, their mentality. They this is Zambia type of mentality that's like ruining their lives. Like dreams, yes, they're hard to chase, but after you just get started, you know, people are going to talk. Your own family members are going to discourage you. Your parents are the hardest that you're trying to convince. Like it's always about education. I'm not saying I'm not going to go to school, but if you give me a chance to try and do something that I love, then you're going to see that even me, my going to school is going to be very easy, and I'm going to enjoy going to university, because I know if I go to university, I'm going to study something that is already in line with my dreams. Like I don't need to go and study to become a teacher and spend the rest of my life regretting why I chose to study teaching when I could have done this. One of those kind of things, you know. So I think it's always very important for someone to self-evaluate before they take the big steps in life, because most of the people, they finish school and they're like, okay, I need to get to university, I need to do this and this. Like, I think we shouldn't be rushing like that. I mean, the difference between us and most of Western countries is that they know what they're going to do at school that before they even reach their final year of school, because it's part of that system, you know. That's what they require them to do. Or them leading to their final year of school, they're applying like to these universities, and they're already doing something that they're going to do in school. And for these universities to accept them, they need to see that, okay, I've done something in line with what they want to go study. So it's like it's encouraging them to continue working on their dream as they're going to go and study at school. Like, we have the most talented people in Zambia, but we have less support. We have less support in ourselves, and we have less. The people are supposed to be supporting us, they're not supporting us. So the problem with that is, if we don't support ourselves, then no one is going to support us at all. We have the best dancers in the country. We have the best musicians in the country. Their music is good, but all people want to do is they want to bring people down in all sorts of ways. Like, I don't listen to Zambian music. Like, what do you mean you don't listen to Zambian music? What's wrong with you? You like like Zambian music is the best. If you're not listening to Zambian music, then you have a problem. You need to go get checked. There's so, like, I think it's one of those things, like, you're trying to take pride in other people's things, in other people's culture, when you can take pride in your own culture, you know. It's one of those things, like, most of the times, I mean, and you can see it even within the country. Like, this is very common, because most of the times I'm in Lusaka and someone asks me like, are you from here? And I tell them, no, I'm from Mongu. And they're like, yeah, from Mongu. Because in their mind, it's like Lusaka is the only place that has certain type of people, you know? Like,
like there's that there's that stereotypical. People think it's a backwards place, and no one from there can be innovative or intelligent enough to like take up something as daring as skateboarding. So I get you, man.
I was actually personally
Yeah,
surprised that we get Mongu skating. Okay. Then we saw the video and I'm like,
I know that 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 itself has been my mission. So it's one of those things where like I need to convince all the kids that are growing up that even after they finish school and like they make something of their life and they become these cool guys, they don't need to leave Mongo and go to Lusaka. Let's try and create something that's going to attract our locals to stay within local. And I think this applies to country at large. If because it's when someone in Lusaka thinks Mongo is low, someone in South Africa thinks Lusaka is low. Someone in the United States thinks South Africa is low. It's a continuous chain. I mean, you can't break it until you take pride in your own culture and country. Like look at the Chinese. Those people are crazy about their own. Like everything about China is just like it's about their own. They support their own, even though they support other people, but they support their own more. So like for me, I feel like I just need to leave a landmark, to print something that's going to attract people, even when they finish school and when they grow up, they'll say like, you know what, I'm not going anywhere else. I think I'm going to be here in Mongo, uplift my own town. And like if you say Lusaka is cooler than Mongo and you want to leave Mongo and go to Lusaka, who's going to make Mongo cool?
Yeah.
Who's going to make Mongo cool? Your main mission should be attracting those guys in Lusaka to come to Mongo. Then you realize how much potential your own town has. Because when you look at it in this way, in the essence of your own town that you think is cool has more opportunities than these other towns. Like if I started this thing about skateboarding in Lusaka, I don't think I could have been where I am today, because in Lusaka there are already guys who could skate more than me, who are already good at this. But for me to say, okay, it's not about how good I am at skateboarding, but it's about lifting my own people here in Mongo. Yeah, it's one Zambia, one Zambia, one nation, but levels need to be matched,
Yeah.
At some point, levels need to. So for me, it was like, okay, I promised myself I was going to put Mongo. If it's making Mongo the biggest skateboarding scene in the whole country, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on the map. I'm going to put it on the Zambian map, because Mongo is just known for Komboka ceremony and Mongo rice. What's that?
And fish.
What's that?
Yeah.
Mongo should be known for skateboarding too. So in that journey effort to try to put Mongo on the map, I didn't realize that I was also putting Zambia on the map.
Yeah.
Because now the biggest skateboarding organizations that are working, they're looking at Zambia as a whole, and they're looking at Mongo. All these other organizations, like the skateboarding scene out there in the world, they're looking at Zambia. When they look at Mongo, that means they're looking at Zambia. And now they'll start trying to look into different things into the country, and they find like, okay, Zambia has more potential, has more potential than we thought. If they recognize skateboarders in Mongo, they're eventually going to recognize skateboarders in Zambia. So if we can work together and try and make this whole thing work, and just try to let everyone play their part, but at the same time work in unity to just make this whole thing work, you're going to see that things are going to work much faster than if you're trying to keep things separate.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, man. Definitely,
it's very
we have to get
uplifting
involved.
and inspiring. Oh, sorry, Moses.
No. I was saying we just have to get involved. Everyone who is into social welfare, who is into self-development, should actually consider working with such people in the country, and rather not just being somebody who complains every time, oh, this is not there in the country, this is not there. But we have such projects that
like I hate people complain about their situations.
Yeah, man.
You can't always be making situations an excuse. That No, don't do that. I'm poor.
Especially
You're
when,
not poor.
yeah, especially
That's your
if you can do
parents'
something
poverty.
about it. Yeah.
Don't let your parents' poverty define you. You're not poor.
Yeah.
You haven't even grown up yet. Why are you saying you're poor? Like, don't get involved in your parents' issues. Like, at some point, you're going to be on your own. Then, after you reach a certain age, you can say, okay, I'm poor. You're probably going to be poor because you keep on telling yourself you're poor when you're just like, what, 18? Like, there's so much for you to do.
There's too much potential for you to
You can't be telling yourself you're poor.
I'm at this status.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to look at it, man. That's very inspiring. Yeah, that's an awesome mindset you have, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's amazing. Like I'm talking to you guys today. Like it's for the first time I've ever met you guys. The first time I'm seeing Moses. The first time I'm seeing Peter. It's the first time I'm seeing Melo. And just because there's that kind of mentality we have, we understand each other on that spiritual level. Nothing has to be explained that much, and you can just tell, okay, these guys get me. They get me. Like if we're to meet in person, like definitely. Like all of you guys are in Lusaka, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably like next week I'll be coming to get those donated shoes. We should definitely link up and just have a chat.
Be awesome. That would be great,
dude. Awesome. Yeah. Totally. We totally have to do that. Yeah, and we'll probably have to return the favor as well. Travel to Mongu to experience the lifestyle there, and probably even document everything that you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love visitors. Like it has been an amazing chat,
To be honest, these are the things. These are some. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. These are some of the reasons why we have this podcast. Like we find people like you, that passion, the drive that gets you to where you are and where you're going is one of the things we want to pick up. I think we say this a lot of times, we're introverts, even though we don't seem like it. I think it's even easy now that we're behind cameras, we're not even in the same room. It's a lot easier. But the fact that we know the potential that is in everyone, like just the three of us, meeting and interacting among the three of us, we see the greatness that is there. And when we are together like this, there's so much more that can happen. And seeing people like you proves it by fact that we don't need to keep on looking down in our own country. We don't need to keep on thinking this cannot be done. I mean, with the way we started, we didn't go like, registration, do this. We just recorded. It was a very raw. Like if you checked it on our podcast, on Anchor, raw. It's even written, raw episode. So I'm just so grateful. Like you are one of the pieces that we look for to put together for this whole collection of videos, an experiment to show what is really in this country. All right, guys. Any last words?
Saying there's something missing.
Sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, I have some last words and probably leave some handles here. So people keep on saying there's something in our country, but it's not really like that, The less things we have here, the more opportunities we have to do what other people are doing. Like that's even like if we don't have a lot of things, that means like we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of opportunities to do this. We have a lot of opportunities to make money. We have a lot of opportunities to make a difference. So nice talking to you guys. My name is Johny K Kalenga. I'm the founder of WeSkate Mongu. Please check us on Facebook at WeSkate Mongu and check us on Instagram at WeSkate_Mongu 101. We have a YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe, like, and always leave a comment because all your comments are the ones that drive us. And subscribe to our channel. It's WeSkate Mongu 101. If you want to add me up on Facebook, this is my name, Johny K Kalenga. Nice having to talk to you guys. You guys are amazing.
I love this guy. This guy is an influencer. That's how you start.
Likewise, man.
All right.
So enthusiastic.
This was Muka.
Hey,
Dano, Tumelo.
And we had Johny. We had Johny on the Ethos Podcast, and we are out.
Peace.
peace.